We shouldn't be talking about us killing birds because wind energy kills about.
You knew that one was coming. All right, so Wynn, would you like to address that claim?
I would.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to address how Jordan said about us killing birds. Actually, each year birds, there are 100 million to 1 billion killed by hitting windows, and we only kill about 10,000 or 40,000. So they hit windows and not like 100.
Like,
All right, first of all, can we stop talking about it? And second of all, with solar power, when you included the plants, have they invented that yet?
No, but we're trying to.
But you can't talk about
If we
that
could invest more money instead of putting money into hydroelectricity or geothermal, I think we could get it.
No, you have to move forward to do that, though.
I think, and we've had this issue in a couple other classes, I think that you could say that every single one of your energy types is going to evolve into something different, okay? And it's going to get better with better technology. The problem that we have right now is if we're trying to decide which of these that we would want to support or invest in right now, okay? We have to look as we go through, okay? Sarah, you have asked a question, no?
So when we, in science, we talked about how many solar panels you would need to power one house. So where would we find the room to put enough solar panels to power like whole cities?
You can put them on roofs of buildings and
Yeah, you put them on like.
you can put them on, if you could tear down wind turbines, you can put them all on their fields. I mean, geothermal plants, for damn.
Jared?
Like, New York City is so huge, and you have lots of flat land, and I know that it does have sun that goes into it, because I've been there, and there's just sun going everywhere around it. So if we just take down the windows of most of the buildings that are all the way high up, and we just put solar panels on it, we will be getting like maybe 1 million kilowatts of energy by day. Just from New York City, it'd probably be like 5 states. If we do it for each and every state.
I'm not like.
Was it Courtney? Audrey, I'm sorry.
Well, during my research, it said that some experts think that it can take up to 11 years to produce the energy to make the solar panels work. So it's not reliable.
Vincent?
Yes, okay, I was doing research, I know what I was supposed to do, but I was like anti-geothermal, but I went after solar anyways. One solar panel, they said that it has no moving parts, but they also build this, the base of it turns as the sun moves. So like, it does have movable parts. And also, one panel can probably power up to about 7 houses. And all those places that you keep on talking about, how you're going to fill all that land, they're already taking most of it.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're trying to
You
do.
guys got that from them? Okay.
Whoa! All right, Hannah.
Okay, I have something to say. How could our, source, how could it affect you guys if ours is underground? Like, it has nothing to do with the sunlight if it's underground. It has something to say about hydroelectric.
We're not saying.
It doesn't take up land.
I got
It doesn't take up, yeah, it doesn't take up land above. And, the installation cost of the hydroelectric, I said, although effective cost is 0, the manufacturing and building a dam and installation of turbines is very costly, and maintenance is also very costly.
Maddie?
Okay, this is a little off topic, but you know how you guys say that we're killing animals in the water? Well, you guys can too. You know the water that you exhale or dig out of the ground? Well, some of that water can go into bigger streams, and that hot water has arsenic, lead, and mercury, and that can kill or harm the local.
Is it more?
Yeah. Alright. We don't. The water turns into steam, so it's not even going anywhere. It's turning into steam.
Ben?
Alright, hydroelectric. When I was researching you guys to find bad things about you, I saw that tidal mills can only be used for a few hours each day. And solar panels
can be used all day until the night comes, and then it runs out.
Uses the store energy.
Somebody wanna address that?
Yeah, well, sort of. I found research about you guys that says that you need about 100 square feet to build an efficient solar panel.
Hey, can I just say one real quick thing, because this is starting to turn into political back and forth. If somebody says something about you, I'd like you to address what they're saying, okay? So not just, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Address what they're saying, so that way we can have some benefit out of that. Blake, do you have a question for somebody?
For hydroelectricity, how much does it cost from dams? About $150 million.
Exactly.
Look, it's not big.
Even though ours costs like 150 million, everyone else's is about like $1 billion. So, and then we're already in debt, so that probably puts them in more debt.
Okay, so let's figure this out, okay? Geothermal, you guys didn't have a price, did you?
No, but, if everybody powered one house, this one will be the cheapest.
Jack?
And is that geothermal out of between, I'm pretty sure every single one of these, it saves more than 80% cost of fossil fuels, so it costs way less than fossil fuels.
Okay.
Especially
Wind, how much would it cost to build one wind turbine? Approximate? Let's say a big one. Do you have a price on that?
I got a small one.
Okay, what's the small one?
Kilowatt machine costs about $48,000.
Okay. And that would be enough to power a house? 10 houses? What do you think? Just one house? One house, okay. And then solar, how much would it cost if I wanted to solar power my entire house? The average size house?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
3 or 4
If you
what?
want to power a house, just
$3 or $4?
no, 3 or 4 panels.
3 or 4 what?
Like,
I'm talking money. Money.
oh, money wise. One's not expensive, but if you're trying to get a whole field, it's expensive.
So you guys don't have
In
any,
the long run,
you don't have any hard evidence on that?
not like hard head.
We seem to have a number from.
Oh, Lexi's got information for us. Okay.
I was researching, guys, and they say it's really dangerous to do it on your own. So they provide like professional work, and it can be $30,000 just a whole house.
For solar power.
Yes.
150 million, 30,000.
All right, waiting.
Okay, well, like, you, for one house, it costs $30,000, and a dam can power a whole city. So for one house, really? How many houses in one
Let's go with like,
How many houses in one city? Way more than 100.
you just said 3.
All right, let's go back to Daniel. Daniel, do you have a question for anybody?
For solar power, so if a solar, eclipse was to happen, right? And like sun was to happen for like a couple days, would it still like work?
Yeah,
solar?
the store energy.
All right, so let's say in Pickerington, Ohio, as you guys know, it gets cloudy and rainy for days on end. And my house is powered by solar power, nothing hooked up to the electric company. Am I still gonna be able to have power?
If you charge your energy in a battery,
No, because there's always gonna be.
There's always going to be some.
well, there's going to be some through the clouds,
A
but
lot
not
of
as
it will
much.
be reflected on the clouds, but there still will be enough power.
Britta.
For geothermal, there's a lot of moving parts in there, so it will break a lot. Is there like a way to make it less complex so that it breaks less?
Right, can we address that?
It takes a lot of maintenance, which creates more jobs, so up to our economy.
River?
Okay, I have something to say about the earlier discussion, how 1.5 million and however much your guys' cost.
1.5?
Whenever. When your guys' breaks, it requires a professional person to fix it and money on top of that to build
But it
a
doesn't
new one.
break.
Ours is completely free after it's built.
Hey, guess what? You killed dolphins.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, because I feel some of you are being slightly disrespectful to Mr. Seymour. You need to wait to be called on, and you need to address what the person has said, not just throwing stones.
All right.
Raise your hand. Kendall Markham.
Oh, hi. Oh,
No, not right now.
oh.
I mean you. Okay.
All right, let's start with a new question. Taylor.
Okay, solar energy. Let's say I live in Alaska where they don't get sunlight for like 6 months a year. How would I get energy if I had solar?
Repeat the question.
In Alaska, they only get sunlight for 6 months of the year. What would I do with the rest of that year?
6 months.
Ben?
I mean, if you live in Alaska, obviously that's not a good idea to get solar panels. So you're going to have to find a different energy source. I don't know what to say about that.
Use hydroelectric.
And that's a quality answer. Okay. Matt.
Going back to what you said, that solar panels could not be in Alaska. What could also be there? Hydroelectric.
Wait.
Now, doesn't hydroelectric make water and then the water freezes and the
Yes.
breaks?
No,
River?
there's a heater.
River?
If the water is flowing, it's not gonna freeze.
Yeah.
The only water that freezes is water that's staying still, like ponds. Rivers and creeks, well, creeks freeze, but rivers and oceans do not freeze because they are always moving.
Lexi?
Our hydroelectric power, it has heaters in it, so it doesn't like freeze up, and it has a certain temperature that you can get to make the water not freeze during cold season.
Morning?
Alright, so now you're heating up the rivers and killing even more fish.
Okay, there's a certain temperature, as in you can set it where to where all the fishes live.
What fishes is a word?
Whoa. Does any of you know that type of fish that has like a giant orange?
Narwhal.
No, yeah, normal. Well, that thing could just crash into your turbine and all that.
Vincent?
Okay, first off, you know, like, it's got the dam part, and then it's like where the generators are. The dolphins, they won't go over. It's like, it flows into the dam, but there's like nets and other kinds, they don't break because they're, I don't know what it's called. No fish are harmed by the turbine. No fish are dead. They also flow up so they can be less harmed.
I'd like to address one of the biological issues that I think we're having here. First of all, most of your hydroelectric power is in rivers and lakes and such like that, correct?
Yeah.
As far as I know, dolphins live in oceans, so it's not going to have an issue with the dolphins, okay? My other question for hydroelectric, and I think a lot of people have this misconception, is that it has to be in a lake where there's a giant waterfall, okay? Where else can I put a hydroelectric power?
And like, there are, like, the Mississippi River, where it's like really wide. They dig down into some rivers that are like widely spread out. They dig down and then they kind of slowly bring it back up. So the water flows down and it goes to all the generators and then it slowly comes back up.
Okay.
So
what you're saying, let me make sure I get this right, what you're saying is that we could actually do hydroelectric power without building the dam.
kind of, yeah.
Sarah, do you have a question?
I'd like to go back to someone over there said that geothermal created a lot of jobs for maintenance and stuff, but wouldn't those jobs be very dangerous?
Not really, because all of the stuff that comes out of machines is like the gases and stuff, it's all filtered. So like nobody's getting really hurt, I don't think.
Okay, real quick, we're looking at about 10 minutes left in the period, so let's take another vote.
I don't know, because
Let's see. So panel members, what are you thinking?
I don't know.
Well, if you're torn between two, you can put up two.
I'm not.
Can you tell them
Daniel, can you raise yours up? All right, so we're looking at 3 geothermal and 2 hydroelectric, and 1 completely undecided. Okay? All right, wind group, you've been kind of quiet over there. Would you like to say anything? Go ahead.
About hydroelectric, the generators that the water has to like turn to create the electricity, wouldn't the water have to be going at a certain speed to turn those big generators all the time?
No. Those generators don't even have to be that big. They're not as big as you think. They could be this part around, and there could be like 4 of them, side by side, and it doesn't take that much to turn at all.
Lexi?
I have a question for geothermal. Even though you guys create a lot of jobs, that's all I've heard really about your group. It creates a lot of jobs. You know what else does it? Because you guys have your gas, that'll cost like billions of dollars.
It's also pretty much 100% non-polluting, and it's a renewable resource, so there's no fossil fuels being harmed or any non-renewable resources that's being wasted.
Kinson?
Another thing is, all geothermal power plants since 1950 are still running. Like, as solar panels will only last for like 4 years, and then wind turbines won't last as long.
Josh?
Also, the geothermal plants can power about a whole state. And as we said, all of them since 1950 are still running that we know of. So they're still powering that state.
Okay, so solar group, they just said that your solar panels only last for about 40 years. Do you agree with that, disagree with that? Who wants to address that?
Alright, I got something else for you.
I'd like an answer to that question.
They're correct on that, like 40 to 50 years, and then they'll either just shut down or they'll have to be repaired, which is possible. So that's just to get more. Okay. And then I have something to say about that. What if something, like you say that your plant cost how much? $1 billion to make? Yeah. Alright, and what if something catastrophically wrong happened? Because you're digging so far down. What if an earthquake, something, or a plate moved and hit one of your pipes and you just completely had to rebuild it? What would you do? That's another $1 billion.
Okay, so that hasn't happened, and if it guess it hasn't started over, but since it hasn't happened, I guess we shouldn't really worry about that.
Yeah.
I want to go back to what Lexi said about how she said like she hasn't heard anything else except for like creating jobs and how if they have like a gas leak. Well, no fuel is actually required for us, and the process can scrub out any sulfur that might have otherwise been released. And our energy source is a virtually limitless supply and is simple and reliable.
Vincent.
Okay. They said that earthquakes haven't happened yet. Yes, they have.
That's not what we said. Not what we said. We said there hasn't been like a gas pipe broken or anything.
Yeah, but yes, there has been a gas pipe broken because there's been an earthquake. It was in Hawaii, near one of those volcanoes, and it shaked and the mountain blew out. I can't remember where this was, and the pipe broke and gas went everywhere. And they also say like the billions of dollars that if it breaks, they have to add another billion. And then once the gas comes out, they have to redo the filter, which is like another $1 billion because those filters cost so much, and it's.
Now, Vince, let me ask you a clarifying question, because I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, are you talking about a pipe broke and gasoline came out?
No. I'm talking about when they drill down and they have to bring all that water and they have to bring all this stuff up. If it cracks, all the gases, all the poisonous gases that are down there in those hot rocks will come up, and it's too much for the filters to handle.
Okay.
Who would like to address that? I don't care.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question. You said that it happened when a volcano went off. How often is that going to happen? It took a volcano to happen, so how often is that going to happen?
Okay, well, it doesn't, I understand, it doesn't honestly often a lot of time. It doesn't happen often, but still, no matter if it happens, you're still paying a whole bunch of money to fix it. And even though it creates creates a job. You still have to find the money to pay the people. How are you gonna find the money if we're all in debt?
All right, let's go back to the panel. Do we have any new questions? Craig?
Going back on hydroelectric, a dam actually as broke in Iowa that, I forget which dam it was, but I remember seeing the dam broke and like, it just spread out all water and flooded houses and everything. So,
How would you address that? Let's say they wanted to build a dam in Pickerington, Ohio. Let's say we had a big river under us. They wanted to build a dam in Pickerington, Ohio. Somebody brought up that point that when it broke in Iowa. How would you address that?
I would address that as in, the skilled workers didn't, put enough cement on the dam, and the water was too much, there was too much pressure.
And adding on to what Vincent just said, that same thing can happen with the skilled workers making mistakes in geothermal. And then the gas, if they don't make the pipes right, the gases can come out of the pipes and kill people.
Taylor, good question?
Well, like what Vincent said, how if some of the workers messed up, what if the workers messed up when they go here in Pickerington? The same thing can happen.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We have about 8 minutes left. I'm gonna give your group 1 minute to talk real quick and to come up with your last closing statement, okay? And those of you in the panel, do you have any last minute questions? Think about those. Not yet.